Hey, welcome to D&D with High School Students, Season 3. This is the prelude for Skyla and Tony. Dun dun dun!
Yeah! Sweet.
That's my phantasmal trumpet.
That was pretty good.
How do you do that?
Alright, so let's, for our viewers, let's recap who we are. And then I will talk about what a prelude means. So, Tony, who are you?
I'm Cademan. Forest gnome and bard. Something tragic happened to my family many moons, many summers ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now I roam amongst the countryside looking for adventure. I'm charismatic, and I'm fun to be around.
Excellent.
And my music gives people inspiration points.
And hope.
And hope.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was good.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I was
I've
just
been
gonna say a
practicing it in the
little bit.
mirror for the past 3 hours straight.
That's
Excellent.
weird.
Just over and over.
Alright, Skyla.
I'm Alexia, and I'm a druid wood elf who's a poet, and I'm really cool. I'm just really cool naturally, so I don't really need to explain that, you know?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Fair.
it. Alright, now, look at your background. So, Tony picked folk hero.
Yeah.
And which fits in well with, like, you know, you had this tragic thing happen where your family was killed, etc. And then you kind of went on adventures and you built up this reputation and just being like a fun, positive person. You brought hope and light to the people during dark times. And you chose entertainer.
Yeah.
So when we think about a prelude's kind of like the introduction before you get into the main thing. And it's a way to connect different people. So we could have just started playing this game and had like all 5 of you at a table and been like, okay, you're all in a bar. And then this happens, right? A lot of games start that way. But
Yeah.
I wanted you guys to come up with a way to explain how you felt like your characters would have met. How did you meet and how did you start adventuring together, right? So I thought, he's a wandering folk hero. You're a wandering druid, entertainer. He's a bard, so he also plays music.
Oh.
Right?
Band.
So now you guys, let's flesh this out.
Wait,
so
can I
talk to
swear
me.
on this?
Yeah, but just
Go?
brainstorm.
Yeah.
Just let's
Fuck
brainstorm.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what are I'm gonna jot down notes just for me.
Okay.
What are some ideas that you guys have?
Okay. So there's a band called the Revivalists that I've talked about before with you, Bill. And basically this guy was going to school in New Orleans and he's like walking and he comes across like this graveyard and there's this house next to the graveyard and he's like, what is that beautiful music I hear coming from the house? And he like walks by it and it's just this guy just on the guitar, like on his guitar, just sitting on the porch next to this graveyard. And he just like walks right up to him and he's like, start a band with me.
Okay.
And then like so many years later.
How could we employ that idea?
So like what if I'm walking, right? I'm a folk hero. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm doing
You're out.
shit,
You're
right?
wandering.
Like
You're
getting
out in the
groceries.
countryside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're going between these little rural
right,
villages
I'm out
and stuff, and you come across.
I'm not really attached to anything, but then I come across. What do you play?
The mandolin.
Mandolin. She plays
And
the
she's
mandolin.
a druid and a wood elf, so she also it
So
also makes
we're
sense
also
that she'd
small,
be like kind of out
right?
in the
Like,
rural
I'm
country
kind of just like,
in the
I'm
wild,
out here,
in
right?
nature.
yeah.
I got my huge pipe that Bill said I could have, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 5 feet, right? I'm just walking through with the pipe, right? And I'm like,
Tony,
what
your character
is...
is only 2.5 feet tall.
I know,
So-
which makes that pipe
is.
even crazier. No,
Okay,
I
so
suppose
you have
it's
like
like...
a really long pipe that's almost
What if
the
it's
size
like this
of you.
pencil? Like if I'm like this size?
I mean,
like,
it could be
boom,
funny
pencil
if
right
you were
here.
like yay big and you had a pipe that was as tall as you. It's
Yeah.
almost like a staff, but
Yeah,
you
and
can
then
smoke
you
it.
can just, like-
Yeah.
It's a staff that you can smoke.
That's dope.
All right.
We need to get on that market right now, Bill.
Yeah, if there's any fans out there who make pipes, we need a
We need it
2
right
foot
now.
long, gnarly wooden pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
All right.
some
Yeah,
carvings in
for
it.
me to carry around. So I'm out in the
Metaphor,
woods,
okay.
right? Smelling in the fresh air, right? Enjoying whatever's in my pipe. And I'm just like, what is that lovely mandolin? And I hear wafting over the cool autumn breeze.
And I'm like, you know?
Yeah, and I come across Skyla.
Now,
and she's
all right,
like,
so you pause.
Okay.
You set the scene for where were you when he came across you? You're a wood
Okay.
elf, you're a druid, you're playing your mandolin. Set the scene, like where was this location?
I was thinking I was on like a little, like, what's it called? In the woods.
a rock.
A rock. Sure. I was sitting on a rock playing.
Like a clearing in the woods?
Yes, like it was just like
a
me.
clearing in the woods, and there's like an old stone with like
Yes.
moss on it.
Do you
Yes,
know what she's
me.
like? Thumbelina. Do you remember that movie?
No.
No?
I've never seen that movie.
Oh.
Okay, anyway. So I'm sitting on the rock just like kind of playing, and there's like birds around, and I'm just like in the middle of the forest, you know?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
like, he
So
walks.
so you come across this clearing, and it's not quite nighttime, but it's
No,
like
it's like
It's
twilight.
dusk.
It's like
Yes.
dusk. Yeah.
yeah.
And you
That's
see
good.
this you see this wood elf who's, and you have very vibrant clothes on, and
That's right.
and you
I'm
see
a-
this
I'm
wood
a-
elf. She's kind of in like earth tones, and she's
Kinda
got all
just
this
like-
Yeah,
natural
I'm-
kind of stuff.
I'm like riding like I think like a squirrel, but like a really well tamed, nice squirrel. Because I can control small beasts.
I'm thinking
Remember
instead of a
that?
squirrel, something a little bit
Cooler.
bigger.
A little bit bigger. A pig.
Yes, like
I have little battle
Ooh.
pig. I'm like
Like a-
riding my battle.
like a pygmy, like a potbelly pig.
Yeah, but it's like a Ferrari pig though. Like this
Okay.
is a nice. You could tell. Like everyone's impressed by the pig.
Okay.
That's
so
all
you're,
I care about.
You're riding atop your
Is that
pig,
other people like it.
and you hear this music in the distance, and you kind of make your way towards the music. And as the moon is starting to come up, the sun's going down, and the moon's coming up. You see this wood elf, and she's just in all of her glory, and she's just playing on this mandolin, and you come
Spellbound.
across her, and she
I'm
doesn't.
absolutely just. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
you see this like forest gnome in
And I'm
very
like,
colorful, vibrant colors and stuff, and he's got
Pipe.
yeah, he's got this
A
pipe,
really
and
gnarly pipe.
he's riding a pig, and he gets off the pig, and you see him pull out. Which instrument do you pull out for your
Guitar.
jam? So he pulls out his guitar,
Yeah.
and then you guys start jamming, right?
Yeah.
And then you jam, you have a really good time, and then you get to know each other, right? And it's nighttime, so you set up a camp, you get a fire going, and you get to talking, you get to know each other, and you share stories, and then you decide like the next day, like let's travel together.
Let's start a
right?
band.
So you guys start
Let's
traveling
really
around
do
together,
this.
right? And you go for let's say a few years.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like, so after you meet for a few years, you're traveling all over the domain, and you go to, sometimes you go to cities, you know, like or towns. Sometimes even a couple times you've gone to the capital, Poitox Shahar, which is like this immense metropolis of the ancient world, right? Like think like ancient Rome or ancient Greece, like columns and Babylonian gardens and shit,
Yeah.
like, you know, really ornate, like marble and all this kind of stuff. And it's massive, right?
Oh yeah.
But then, you know, most of the time you're kind of doing this, what we'll call the smaller circuit, right? You're on
Ha,
tour all
get
the
it?
time, and you're
Smaller,
doing, you know, you're
'cause
hitting
we're-
little villages, and
Little.
like every time you go to these
what Michael
villages,
Jackson was on.
you know, people are happy to see you guys, and you come for, and you stay for like 3 or 4 nights, and you perform at the inns and stuff, and people always hook you up with free lodging and food and that.
Yeah.
So, and along the way, you've had adventures too. Maybe some dangerous run-ins with
Yeah.
with bandits. You've had some. You've heard of some, you know, different adventures, and like rumors of like hidden treasure amongst the ruins and stuff. And you've gone on these little adventures, and so periodically you've had some adventures in between. So that's why you're level 3, because you've actually had some real adventures in the
Yeah.
course of your time together. Okay, so that establishes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys came up with an awesome background. And
Boom.
that establishes where we're at for the present, leading up to the first game, right? So, so you guys are, you've just finished up, we'll call summer tour, right?
Yeah.
You made your way.
so like
You were down.
Lollapalooza.
Yeah, you were down in the south of the domain, by Dario
Raging.
Lar Shari for the wine festival, which is
Yeah.
like, it's a big annual like thing in the south of the domain because it's very rich vineyards and soil there, and they, you know, they have this big thing where people from all over the continent come by land and by boat to Dario Lar Shari, this town. And they have a big wine festival, and there's bards, there's merchants, there's people, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's just a week-long epic jam, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's
Some crazy things went down there, though.
Oh,
Like towards
boy,
the
what
end of the
happened?
week, there was like this massive storm, like tsunami level storm that came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yikes.
And like half of the docks got wiped out, ships got sunk that were like in the harbor.
Shit.
People, like homes got like flooded, lightning struck several buildings and like damaged them. It was kind of this weird natural act. There are rumors going around about
So are we, like, with
the water
Red
goddess
Cross?
Vusaik being angered or something. And so you guys kind of like all this went down and you kind of like bugged out. You're like, we're
Yeah.
gonna split, right?
Yeah. we were
So
like,
you-
we're bouncing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
Slime.
but you also know that in Dariolar Shari, which is like a 4-day travel,
Yeah.
that's the capital. Or sorry, in Poitax Jahar, that's the capital. It's like a 4-day travel, and you know that
By
coming
what?
up there
Squirrel, pig? How are we getting
by land, like by horse,
By
pony, whatever.
horse, but
we're
Now
so-
she
we're so
doesn't have
small.
any animals,
No,
but
but
she can become one for
Yeah.
limited amounts of time.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts. I can actually like control animals. Like I can get like a small
Well, I can
army
be an
together.
animal.
Yeah, so she could be
So
an
I'm pretty
animal.
much cool.
But so
But-
here's
Yeah, I was gonna
here's
say,
the
that's
thing. So
cool.
you know about this big. It's also kind of a seasonal event, right? And it's the fall equinox, which is like a
Yeah.
celebrated thing.
Yeah.
It's where they celebrate like all the gods, right? So the gods in this continent are based on the elements, right? So you have
Right.
earth, wind, fire, and water, and then the fifth is void, which is the void's the most mysterious because some people associate it with like death or spirituality or just like emptiness. Some people associate void with just change or chaos. But earth, wind, fire, and water all have distinct divinities, gods and goddesses that are associated with them. And during this fall equinox, it's a celebration of all the people, who like make the pilgrimage to the capital and go to the big temples and venerate the gods and goddesses. From a natural perspective, though, as a druid, the fall equinox holds particular power, especially for the circle of the moon, and so you venerate the fall equinox because it's the changing of the seasons, and there's great mystical power that's associated with it. Typically, like there's a spike in natural magical power during this time.
Sweet.
So, and from a band perspective, you know that it's a rager in the capital because you get all these
Oh,
people.
yeah.
The capital is already a metropolis with 50,000 people, but you get more people, tourists and pilgrims making their way for the big celebrations, right?
Can we have like a I'm trying to think of like a troll or somebody that's like our manager?
You can develop
Like
that
Colin.
in the game.
Oh, really?
I encourage you to develop that. Now,
I kinda
and,
like
and,
that.
and that's the thing. From this point forward, as
Like
we role
Terry,
play in the
our
game,
troll.
if you run across people and you want to like recruit them to your cause, you
Yeah.
can do that. You can make friends with people.
It's
You
like a
can get them to
Kickstarter.
join you. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the population of Kabul Kailish, of the domain that you're in, is very diverse. It's probably the most diverse because of all the continent, it's kind of in the center.
Sweet.
So you get halflings and gnomes and half elves and elves and humans and dwarves and everybody
A lot of diversity.
kind of mix in there. Yeah. So, and particularly with the fall equinox festivities, there will be a variety of people. So it's kind of like, every year you'll hit the capital for the big
For the big
party. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's a quite a celebration. So you guys, you finish up your stuff, you get all your stuff together, and you get some food and some water and stuff to travel to go to the capital. It's kind of a hike. On your way out of town, as you're about to head towards the capital, you hear some rumors from other travelers and stuff. They're like telling you like, be careful because there's rumors about like bandits on the roads, and there's
I'm scared of no ghosts.
there's also like there's a rumor about
I
a
know.
horde, a barbarian
I'm not
horde.
scared of bandits either.
So, do either of you have the history proficiency? So these are your skills.
Yeah.
Look in that column and see if you have
Wait.
history.
I have 3 for history.
What do you have, Skyla?
I have one.
Okay. So open up your dice
Okay.
bags. These are the dice that we got last year from Skullsplitter.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
And yeah, so don't just roll all of them, Tony. I'm going to teach you about dice now. So put
I
your
was just
dice out
gonna
on the
throw 'em.
table. Now, anytime you're making a proficiency or a skill check or a saving throw or an attack roll, most of the time you're doing that with the D20.
Got it.
And this die represents, that's a 12.
This
Keep
one?
going. Yes. This is the D20.
Oh.
Okay. So
yeah.
when I tell you to make a history roll, go ahead and take that. You're going to roll that and add whatever that bonus is from history. And then tell me the final result.
I got a 12 and 3, so that's
I got
15.
an 8. I got a 9.
Okay.
I got 9.
So you got a 15, you got a 9.
Yeah.
So as people are like telling you these rumors, like you're literally on the road headed north towards the capital, and you're hearing from other travelers like, be careful about the dwarf barbarians, and you're like, nothing particularly rings a bell. But then as they say like the dwarf barbarians, you remember, and you'll also, because you have bardic knowledge and jack of all trades, it occurs to you that there's a tribe called the Quoshin, and they're dwarf barbarians, and they live like extremely primitively. Like most of the time they're like caveman level primitive. Like they might have a loincloth and some spears or a club. They wander the countryside, and usually they're in small like clans.
Gaggles.
Yes.
Gaggles of dwarves.
Of, it could be like 20 or 60. But when people use the word horde, that's what like rings a bell in your knowledge and recollection of stories, because you haven't heard of a horde in decades.
Oh, yeah.
A horde is significant. That's typically when all of the tribes have decided to band together. So it could be hundreds of them, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
So this occurs to you.
Do we get a gig there? Dude, like, what if we convinced them to, like, give us, like, whatever they had that we thought was precious, and we're like, dude, we'll play the music. And
Right.
we, like, showed
So
them.
this is the part where I would, as the DM, I could let you do anything.
Yeah.
That's the
Right,
beautiful
but
thing
you would
about this
advise
game.
against it?
But as the DM, from a meta perspective, I would say they would probably skin you alive and eat you, and your
Oh.
pig, and her.
And me, so you would get me killed.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
they're
okay.
pretty
Yeah,
primitive.
no, I'm
so,
sorry about that.
It would
Sometimes
take
I make mistakes.
it would take hella level role playing to get in with the barbarians, and
Oh.
even
Right.
then, you aren't
Still
sure
gonna-
if you would get through with all of your limbs.
Yeah.
Gain their trust.
Yeah.
We probably
So
won't have legs when we come
so
out.
you, knowing this, you guys
Sad.
decide to hit the road,
Okay.
and you're pretty familiar with traveling around. So you figure if you stay on the road, there's enough like little hamlets and villages along the way where you'll be okay, right? You travel for a couple days. Roads are pretty clear. You see other travelers like yourselves. Some of them have like wagons, some of them have carts, some of them are just people on foot. And the third day of traveling, you're going along the road, and you passed like the last village like 4 or 5 hours before, right? So you're just out in the open country.
Okay.
And up ahead, as the road continues, you see probably like, imagine like 2 football fields away, right? Like, so way down, you see something up on the road, something that's not moving. It's just looks. It's hard to see
Dead?
what it is. It's hard to see.
Ba-na-na.
You're 2 football fields away.
Yeah, you can't see that. It's just
Okay.
like a figure.
Yeah, I know, but maybe I feel something.
Now you could stay on the road. What's around you
No
right
cutting.
now is kind of a mix of like scrub brush, really tall grass, and then occasionally some like groves of bamboo. Because remember, this island is a very Mediterranean climate, so it's very like, even though it's fall,
Yeah.
it's still like 75 degrees. Like it's warm and balmy and humid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ice one.
Yeah.
Right? Jamaica? Is it kind of like that climate?
yeah,
Like
I would say
Mediterranean,
like
like
northern
Caribbean?
Mexico kind of, yeah,
Oh,
Mediterranean.
okay.
Okay.
All right, a little bit.
So
yeah,
there's some
okay, I get what you're
jungles
saying.
kind of vibes to it, but it's not all just
Right.
jungle, right?
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so you see up ahead, like I said, you see
Mhm.
something that's on the road and
Yeah.
not moving, and it looks pretty big. Do you just stop where you are?
Usually-
Do you walk towards it calmly? Do you run towards it? Do you get off the road and sneak around? These are all things that you could do.
That proposing thing?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sneaky. I don't know about you, but I feel like we're small. I feel like whatever this thing is, if it's that big,
She's an elf, so she's like human sized.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
like
no,
man
you're
size.
small.
You're just really tiny.
Okay, so now,
Hey,
because this is the
awesome.
prelude, I'm going to coach you on more options.
Okay.
You could do any of those other things that I said, but I want you to look at your class and racial abilities, and I want you to look at your spells. So, for example, Skyla, move your dice and
Oh, good
flip to
boy.
your spells. You have a spell, a 2nd level spell that's very powerful, and it's called Beast Sense.
Wait, flip to my spells.
Keep going.
Okay.
I have the descriptions for your spells.
Last
Did I
spells?
tell you that? Look,
No. Oh.
Yeah, keep turning. So see,
What?
these are all the spells that you
Shatter.
have.
Okay.
Let me see what I got.
So turn to your second page, Skyla. Do you see Beast Sense?
Turn to my second page. This one.
Second, yeah. Move the paperclip if you have to.
Vicious
There it
mockery.
is.
I forgot I had
The
this.
last page, Beast Sense. Read that out loud.
Okay. You touch a willing beast. For the duration of the spell, you can use your action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears, and continue to do so until you use your action to return it to your normal senses. While perceiving through the beast's senses, you gain the benefits of any special senses possessed by that creature, though you are blinded and defended to your own surroundings.
Okay, so
Ooh.
for those of you watching from home, this would be in Game of Thrones. This is the ability of a warg. So like you basically, if you do
Warg.
Beast Sense, you cast a spell and your
Yeah.
eyes like just go white,
Yeah.
and you basically your body's there, but
then
your
you think-
consciousness is in the animal.
That's
So
so
if
crazy.
you connect to like your pet eagle or whatever or pet hawk, you now are seeing through and sensing everything through the hawk, right? As if you were the hawk.
That's dope. Yeah.
So that's something. Now
Okay.
you don't have a pet established because the first thing is a
Right.
willing creature. So you can't just like grab, "Oh, I'm gonna catch a hawk and make it do this, right?
Right.
Well, if it's willing, couldn't I just talk to it? I can speak with small. Oh well, it's not small though, is it?
You could speak with small beasts. So here's another thing. You
But
could
if it's
send your
used-
pig up there.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. See what's going on? I kind of like that idea. God, right. What's my pig's name? Hank.
Or you could tell your
Derek?
pig to go up there and she could use Beast Sense. Those are all options.
Oh my
See, there are a
God.
lot of different ways to
Let's
do
do
it.
that.
Let's do that.
Another thing you could do
Yeah.
is you could just wild shape into an animal
And that's what I was
run up
thinking.
there and scout it out and then come back to Tony.
I kind of like the pig thing because that way, if like someone's getting hurt,
Tony
it's
wants
the
to be
pig.
involved. So.
No. What I'm saying is that
So we could do that.
you would, like, I don't know what this animal is. We can't see it at all, correct?
You don't even know if it's an animal. It's
It could
2
be
football
like-
fields away.
See,
could
but
be
like we
anything.
can send the
It could
pig.
be like a little tree stub, and then we have to.
Well, I
hide
feel like
it,
if
you
it's
know?
big, if we can see a tree stub from 2 football fields away,
Mhm.
then that's a pretty big fucking tree stump. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge tree stump.
Okay, maybe
the
not a
fucking
tree stump.
tree from Avatar was the tree that made that tree stump. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
enormous. So I feel like if we can see it, it's probably pretty big. Send the pig. That way, you know,
Wait,
worst
so-
comes to worst, we get bacon in the morning.
Can I use the?
Bacon.
Oh my.
I
Okay.
thought you'd like that one, Bill.
So I could use the beast sense to be the pig and then go up there and see what it is.
You can use
Can
the
I do
Beast
that?
Sense on his pig.
Yeah.
Be the pig.
And the pig would go up there and you'd be
And
able to
then
see through
I
its
could, like-
eyes. Or, to be quite
That's
honest,
cool.
you could use your own wild shape and just turn
And
into
just-
whatever animal
I
you
go
want.
with the pig. We could be buds.
You could. So your wild
Hang
shape,
behind.
because
I smoke
you
my
chose
pipe,
Circle of the
hang
Moon, you get the circle forms that basically let you pick more powerful animals. Do you remember me kind of explaining that? I know it can be confusing. So
Yeah.
like his pig is like a little baby pig, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You could
Okay.
turn into like a bear. You could turn
Ooh,
into like a wolf.
gorilla?
Or if you wanted to be something
I
small,
love
you could
a
turn to
gorilla.
like a cat.
And
If you
then-
wanted to be small and stealthy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's cool. I like the cat.
so yeah, I mean there are a lot of options. You could turn into a panther. You could turn into a panther, literally.
That's kind of sick. Dog,
Um,
if I could be a panther.
you could turn into a horse. You could turn into a tiger. I think panthers are the fastest. Speed 50 feet.
Dude, you could be an owl. Fly above everything.
So
that
there's,
way,
there are a couple
boom.
rules that I have to check. So one of the things is when you're lower level as a druid,
Uh-huh.
you don't have the beast shaped power to turn into
flying things?
creatures or swimming things with gills.
Oh.
But you get that eventually
Yeah.
as you gain levels. Now, I'm not sure though, to be honest, I have to check this, which I hate having to flip through books.
Dude, that's what you are. That's kind of badass.
So circle forms. Starting at second level, you can use your wild shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1. See our column of the beast shapes table, but must abide by the other limitations there. Yeah.
That's right.
So you are still limited with flight.
Okay.
But like I said, there are a ton of other like common animals that
things.
you would be able to turn into
Yeah.
if you wanted to run up and scout it out. So those are all options.
Giant eagle.
Now, once we start playing this game, I'm not gonna
Help
Help.
us.
help as much.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna I'm gonna lean off of that. But like I said,
That's
you have a
gonna be-
lot of different options that you could do.
What
I'm
do you
gonna
want
let
to
you
do?
make that call. If you want to go with the pig, Skyla, I'm not gonna stop you from going with the pig.
Okay, we'll go with the pig.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
I'll
hang
be-
back. I'm gonna smoke the pipe. All right. I'm gonna think on it.
I'll be the pig, and go up and
Wait, you're gonna be the pig?
You're
Yeah.
gonna use beast sense.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
And be cool, you know.
So you get into a comfortable spot. Are you just doing this in the middle of the road, or you guys get
No,
like
we're gonna
off the
like go
road?
off.
We're gonna
this
get
way.
off the road.
So you
We're
get
gonna
off the
talk
road
to
because
Derek,
your body's
explain
still there,
what's
so
going
he has
on.
to like guard your body,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you have to be like.
And maybe you guys have done
Yeah.
this before in your adventures, so it's not
Yeah,
like
so it's
totally
not
new.
weird.
It's
right?
not super weird.
So you get in like a comfortable meditative position. You begin to cast the spell, and then you feel like you can now see, smell, hear all that stuff through the pig, right? So you tell your pig to go up, right?
Like Derek.
Yeah. Make an animal
be
handling
okay.
roll for me.
Got
so
it.
you add that bonus for animal
This guy?
handling. No, your D20.
Oh, got it. I like this model.
Wait,
Feels
just
like good
him or me
model.
too?
Just him.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay,
Good.
15.
Plus what?
that's good.
Yahtzee.
Why are you good? at
Animal
rolling?
handling.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
So
Oh,
19.
19.
So your pygmy potbelly pig thing
Yeah.
runs up there, right?
Yeah.
So now
Right.
you're in that body and
Right.
you can sense it, and as you get closer, you see, like within 50 yards of it, you see what it is. It looks like a wagon, like a big wagon, like the kind of cart
Oh.
that people load up like,
And like,
crops on and stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's been flipped over and just torn apart. There's like broken wagon wheels, and
Aboard.
part of the half of it's like broken.
Overboard.
You see like
The
2 of the
spooky-
pack horses that were pulling it
Okay.
have been like killed,
yeah.
and they're slaughtered. There's blood all over.
Okay.
You see 2 or 3
That's
people too, who are dead. They like, and there's arrows sticking in
Oh
them.
my god.
And then there's like crates and barrels that were like broken and smashed open. And there's like random stuff, like some of it's like rice and food and other things, and then there's some other supplies that are just scattered all over. So it basically looks like this wagon was on its way north, and someone or something just came and like
Demolished.
wailed on it.
Yeah.
Sounds almost kind of like
There's like
those
clothes scattered all over the, you know what I mean? Just
hordes
Yeah.
it's just a
from
mess.
earlier. Remember those super primitive things that we had foreshadowed earlier? Could they be the things that are possibly screwing with the wagon?
So here's the funny thing: you don't know what she's seeing.
Oh, right.
You're back with her
Yeah.
I
body,
have no idea.
and
You
she's
have no
like,
idea. I'm like this.
Wait, thanks for giving me the heads up, Skyla.
right.
Appreciate it.
Sorry.
So you're in
Ali
the
Kiskia.
pig's body. You
Oh,
see
let's
what's
Oh,
going
yeah,
on,
It's much easier.
Okay. And then I have to go back.
and you
so-
smell like dead animals. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You
yeah.
see all this
Bad.
stuff.
Well, I would be like YOLO, let's do this, and like
Okay.
go.
Okay.
But he probably want to be like,
No, now this is what I would say. I'd be like, let's approach the situation smart.
So do you go back?
yeah, I have
Okay.
to go back and talk.
So
to
you
him.
go back, and now
Yeah.
you come out of the spell.
Yeah,
You
now
come
I'm
out of your
like-
trance,
I'm like,
and
yeah.
you
Explain it.
explain what
Where's
you saw.
my Derek?
He's there.
Is he back? Okay,
Yeah,
Derek's
he's back.
home.
He's back. 'Cause
He
yeah.
wants a treat. Like
Right.
he's like,
Yeah, he's like ready. But
What if I fed him like bacon bites or something? What if I would like?
I mean, pigs eat their own.
Because I have,
Pigs
I
eat
have,
anything.
I
Yeah.
have cruel mockery. So that seems like me. It's
That's
like,
so evil, though. Tony.
here you go.
All right.
that's horrible.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I come back and I tell you that I saw all of that.
Shit, dude. I wonder
Like-
what it could possibly be. Then I look at you sarcastically, like this.
What do we do?
What do we do? Well,
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I don't want to get in with it with these like primitive things. I feel like with primitive things, if you leave them be, they like, you know what I mean? Like,
They're chill.
don't poke the alligator. Just leave the alligator be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That old saying
So
about alligators.
what would you do?
I don't know, to be totally honest with you. I mean, I would kind of want, I'm curious. I kind of want to scout out the location. Like,
That's
I would
it.
say, like, so there's a road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're in the trees right now,
Mhm.
right? We've gone off
Yeah.
the road, we're in the forest.
If we like go
We're-
around.
Yeah, we're
and,
both like woody, earthy people. So let's
Mhm.
just like sneak around. I'll
Okay.
probably put on like I'm wearing all green but a light purple vest. So I'd probably take that purple vest off. I'm leaving it with Derek. I'm leaving Derek and my
You're
vest
leaving
behind.
Derek?
Yeah, just for now because we're gonna go scout it out.
Oh,
I mean, I don't want him making noise. I don't want him squealing. Derek's a cool guy.
Okay.
Okay.
But like honestly, we went to college together, and I know that he's just full of crap, and I'm not willing to take.
Are
that
you
risk
talking
right
about the
now.
pig?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you? All right. So
You're an
what
idiot.
do you now do?
Okay, so
You're going to sneak up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
sneak
So
sneak
this
up.
would be the stealth skill. So
Okay.
you describe what you're going to do.
Oh, I'm really good at stealth.
Okay.
We're going to sneak up and
We're gonna sneak up and go around and like,
scout it out.
scout it out and then
Yeah.
go
Okay.
around.
So now you're going to roll stealth. So look for stealth and then roll the d20 and add your bonus from stealth.
Come on. Are you kidding?
I got a 1.
Oh, I got
No.
better. 8.
All
And I
right.
had 3.
So, Skyla, you're
Yeah.
like sneaking along,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And you're going through the woods. There's some bamboo woods and stuff. You're sneaking along, and you hear him behind you. And then all of a sudden, you hear this like
I was thinking
the
that.
sound of
That's
like
so
kind of wood cracking and
Yeah,
stuff.
like-
And you hear him go like ah. Now,
weird.
Tony, you unfortunately in
Make a
your
noise.
attempt to sneak have stumbled across a common problem, which is a pit trap. So a 1 is a critical failure, which means I get to do something fun to
Oh.
punish you for that bad roll.
Okay, cool.
So you're going to make a dexterity save. So a saving throw,
Oh, boy.
you look up dexterity. What's your
All right, I
bonus?
got 5.
Okay. Roll and add 5 to it. And then hopefully you get a 15 or higher total.
Come on.
Rip.
No,
You rolled a 2.
dude, what? I still got a
So-
7 though, Bill.
Yep, not high enough. So you
Oh,
hear the
no.
cracking of wood,
Yeah.
and you hear Cademan go like ah, and you hear like a thump.
Yeah.
Tony, you're in the bottom of a 15-foot pit.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
So
for-
it's like a
wait,
lot for me. That's like
Fortunately
several
for you,
stories.
yes. Fortunately for you, there's no spikes at the bottom, but
Oh,
you
thank
do
God.
take 3 damage from the fall.
Mm.
You hurt your ankle, and it's ouchy.
Oh,
And it's
what?
ouchy.
So now we're
And
getting
ouchie.
to damage, people. So this is
Skyla,
your
can you
maximum
carry
hit
me?
points.
No.
That'd be really
Now,
easy.
this is your maximum hit points,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
Tony just took 3, so he's going to write down 27.
Oh, we have the same now.
Okay. So, Tony,
Mm.
you are at the bottom of a pit.
Okay.
You heard this. You turn around, and you see, like, basically what looks like a bunch of bamboo that had been carefully camouflaged, and he fell
Oh.
right into the pit. So you could see this
Oh.
pit. So
Yeah.
you go to the edge, you see him down there.
Mm-hmm. What do I do?
What do you do?
Oh,
Oh, because you're so little. How do I get him?
you know what
Do
I
you have
do?
a rope?
I talk to a bird. I talk to a nearby little sparrow, and I'm like, "Hey," because how tall am I? I'm like, what, this big?
Idea.
Mm-hmm.
I turn into an animal to get him out.
What animal?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I could just talk to a bird, because you can't turn into a bird. I can talk to a bird, right?
Sure.
Oh,
Can I
There's a
talk
lot
to a
of
bird?
sparrows.
Yeah. Let me talk to a sparrow.
Okay.
to get you out,
Yeah.
and you're just like hopping on this.
Yeah. I just hop
You
on.
realize
sparrow.
that you're like this
Okay,
big, and
okay.
a sparrow's this big.
What's the biggest flying thing around in like a nearby area?
There's a toucan.
Is it toucan?
Yeah.
The toucan? How strong is the toucan?
Not strong enough to lift you. But it has pretty colors and a large beak.
All right. Well, I call a toucan over because I need some eye candy.
Okay.
Okay.
The toucan comes over to you,
Okay.
but after you have no seeds or nuts for
And
it,
I'm like,
it leaves.
well, no, wait, hold on. Now remember, I have persuasion,
Yes.
and I have a 6. So
Yeah.
can I roll on persuading the toucan to stay?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, this would be
Wait,
a
hold
point
on.
when you're in a conflict, a situation like this, you might
Yeah.
want to consider,
Now watch.
what
I'm
do
gonna
I
though.
have?
Bill, watch
Now,
this.
that could be items, like your equipment, or it could be spells or abilities.
16. So this is a 22.
I have a leather armor shield, but that's it for my equipment,
Bill.
which kind of sucks.
Watch this. 22, right?
Yes.
All right. So that means I'm really good at persuading.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo. I don't know why it's an 8. It was just a 22, I swear. Oh, no, it was at a 16. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, hey, buddy. Like, look, I know I don't have any nuts, right? But, like, we're all friends here, right? I say something super persuasive, right? Really cool. And he's like, we're talking, we're chatting up. I'm like, hey, man, is there any way you could, like, go out and just, like, look around for me? See if there's any way I could get out of here? You know, just look all around the forest. And if you find someone, could you tell them to come
The
and,
toucan
like, help
does
me
this.
out?
It goes, and
Which
then it
I know
flies away
means-
for
And then
a
it
minute.
goes
Which
away.
I know means yes.
Yeah.
Right,
So
I'll
then
come
it
back.
flies away for a
Flies
minute.
away.
So did you look at your spells?
Yeah, I have.
Is it coming?
Only-
What are your cantrips? Start with the first page, because that's only the second page of
Oh.
spells.
Right.
So I have all the descriptions for you. You're
Okay.
going to have to move, because you're missing the top description.
Poison spray,
Uh-huh.
thorn whip.
Oh,
No,
no.
that's covered in thorns.
Yeah, but I'm.
So,
little, right?
you-
I could use that
I
like a
mean,
ladder.
Interestingly enough, you could thorn whip him
I
and
can.
pull him up, but the problem is he would take damage from it.
Yeah, wouldn't he
Oh.
get hurt?
Right.
Wait, is my toucan coming back?
You're waiting. It's not like instantaneous. It's flying around. You hear it squawking.
Can I fast forward the toucan?
No. You have to look at your own spells and see if you have anything to get yourself out of this mess that you put yourself in because you rolled a
Fine,
1.
whatever. I was waiting on my toucan.
What if I used that and then used my healing word?
That's another way to do things.
Because then he
That's
wouldn't.
cool.
Now look at your
Damage.
skills. Do you have survival?
I have 3.
Do you have nature?
Well, hold on. Let's see if I got.
I
I have
agree.
healing word too.
Okay.
So
Tony, do you have survival or nature in your skills? Do you have proficiency in it?
I have 2 in survival.
Yeah.
And nature.
So why don't both of
I
you
have
make
3.
survival rolls? Let's see who
Okay,
rolls higher.
ability.
Survival?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bull
I have
strength,
3.
cat's great, fox cunning,
Come on.
owls, eagle splendor. Oh wait, what? Wait, hold on. Has advantage on charismatic check. Oh fuck me. All right, never mind. Till I got to fly.
Okay, I have 8
Okay, come on.
for survival now.
Yeah,
I only got
ish.
5.
It's 13.
All right, that's good.
It's fine, right?
So while you're looking around for like
Yeah.
different things to do, and he's looking around for different things to do, the toucan comes back.
Thank God.
And the toucan's sitting up on a tree, and this is a tree that's like it's almost like a weeping willow. There are great long vines on the tree, and it just keeps bouncing and squawking while it's sitting on this branch. And you see the vines waving back and forth while it's bouncing on the branch.
And I'm like, hey yo, push those down here. Take your little bird beak and push the vines.
It just
Lower
starts-
them into.
like biting at the top of one of the vines, and eventually bites through it, and the vine drops. And it's about 12 feet long.
Feet. Oh, I'm 3 feet. That's right. Skyla,
So-
it's almost like a perfect match to get out of the little pit.
Yeah,
Almost. I'm not. Could I use that?
sure.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Look at
what's
that.
your strength?
Serendipity.
My strength.
So look at the
Where is
top.
that?
There's
I
strength.
can't
You have
imagine
an 11.
I'm that
Oh,
heavy.
I
He
have
is an
11.
11. So what I'm going to have you both do, you're each going to make a strength, an athletics check. So see athletics at the top?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
is it? Somewhere on
Yeah,
there.
it's
Right there.
athletics. I
Okay.
have plus
I have
1.
So
0.
you roll an athletics roll. So if you have 0, it's just whatever the roll is.
Oh, come on. Please be good. 2.
Nice.
Okay, you roll.
That sucks.
20.
Nope, it's on the it's
20.
8.
okay. So she's holding the vine like a rope.
This is so bad.
And you start climbing it,
Yeah.
and then she's like, ah, and it slips out of her hand, and you fall it back down, but you don't take any damage. Now you have to like whip it back up to her
Okay.
and try again.
Alright,
So
we roll
both
for
of you have
that.
to roll. You both have to roll over a
She's
10.
gonna be like
Come
an
on.
hour. 16.
10.
Okay, you did it. So Alexia is barely
out of that
holding
pit.
it on.
I'm like,
Holding on, and you're like scrambling up the vine as fast as you can, and you get to the top, and literally just as you get to the top, she's like, and it slips through her fingers, and the vine falls down in the pit, but you made it. So
Oh.
you're
oh, I was
you're out
like,
of the pit.
again?
I was so pissed. I was gonna be like, damn it, Skyla, we were so close.
All right, so you guys,
Alexia.
Alexia. Come
Now-
on, Alexia.
now you begin your
Yeah.
way back, right? And you
Alexia?
make your way along,
Like-
and you get to where you had seen this cart, right? And you, as you guys are closer, now you're looking through like a little bit of the tall grass,
Yeah.
and you see this cart like she had described, and it's definitely like some traveling, people, maybe farmers or merchants, and all their stuff's just wiped out and just destroyed and smashed.
Okay.
Now it looks like there might still be a couple chests and crates and stuff in the wagon that weren't totally messed up if you wanted to like go in for a closer
I would
look.
say, let's go. I kind of want to like see what they got. Like, we're probably hungry, right? I just climbed out of a pit, so I'm starving. It sounds like merchants, right? So they probably got either A, money, or B, food or supplies, or something of value that we can sell. Now, what I'm assuming is it's food because this horde that I'm assuming right now that it is primitive, right? So it has no need for like anything with like value, which means they probably got food or like something we can take, right? But I also want to go in. I'm assuming I can't see the inside of the carriage from here fully.
No, you can. It's flipped over.
Okay, and there's
Everything's spilled
and
out.
there are no people around
They're
that
all
can
dead.
Not that are
survive.
alive.
They're all dead.
You see the two draft horses that were pulling the wagon are dead, like slaughtered, blood all over. And then there's 3 people who look like they have arrows in
Like
them
in
that
them.
are dead.
History, right?
Make a perception roll. So look at your skills, both of you.
I have a
5.
1.
Go ahead and roll.
15.
17.
Something's not
I got
right.
12.
As
So I
you
got
guys
17.
as you
Oh.
guys are watching this,
I was
Sounds
like,
like you cheated.
as you guys are watching this, something's not right because you notice that one of the dead guys with arrows in him, you see him actually like
he's alive.
It's a trap. Shit. Book it. They're faking it.
So we
right? They have to be.
skirt the other way.
or he could be a survivor and you can save his life. It's up to you.
Oh.
I kind of want to say YOLO right now and find out.
Let's do it.
Because we're persuasive people. I feel like they capture us. Bill says it's impossible, but I have a +6 persuasion. So if I rolled like
I
a
have
20
0.
or something.
First of all, these
if I had
are
a
not
26
dwarf barbarians. They're humans.
Right, no, I know.
I want you to understand
Yeah.
that. They are humans who
Oh,
like
that's
have
right.
arrows sticking on them, there's blood.
Right.
The horses are definitely dead.
Dead.
Like, I mean, there's
They're
huge
chopped in
gashes in them. There's blood, dried blood all over.
All right. Well, we got heal word or whatever that spell is too, so we
So-
could go talk. We could help them. Let's fuck it. Let's just go figure it out. Cure wounds, right? Can I
Healing
use
word.
that to help?
Healing word you could do from where you're at. Because you guys are only like 30 feet away, and
So
healing
I can
word you
heal.
can cast
We
from far
both
away.
we both can do that.
Oh.
See how it
So
says?
we could both cast it on him.
See how it says
Yeah.
range 60 feet?
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, just one of you even healing him,
Mm-hmm.
like from where you're at. You don't even have to come out of hiding to do healing word.
Let's do it.
Are you
So
feeling
who's
lucky?
gonna do it?
I am. I'll do
All right.
it.
Okay. So look up the spell. What is it? What's it grant? Healing word. Read the
So
description.
a creature of your choice that you can see within range regains its hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay, so what's your spellcasting ability modifier? Now, if you turn to your spells sheet,
Yeah.
what a mess. That is your spellcasting. Oh, that's your attack bonus.
Yeah.
So wisdom is your spellcasting ability modifier.
Modifier.
What's your wisdom? So +3. So you're going to roll, the d4 is the pyramid-shaped one.
Okay.
You're going to roll that and add 3. And whatever the number is on top is the number. So 3.
3.
Plus 3 is 6. So you do this on this guy.
Yeah.
Call upon the powers of nature to restore his health.
Yeah.
And you see the guy like twitch, and he's like, oh. And he like reaches up, and you see he tries to like roll over, and there's still an
Yeah.
arrow stuck in him, and he's like, by the gods I live. He looks around. He doesn't seem to see you guys,
And then we have Skyla, yeah.
but he's
we
like
have-
looking up at the sky, and he crawls, he like gets up onto all fours, and he pulls himself halfway up, and he looks like he's still wounded, but he obviously, like, your healing has an impact on him. And he looks around, and he's like, oh no, Franklin,
I like that name.
Morgan. And he reaches over to the other guys who are clearly dead.
Yeah.
And he's like shaking them, and he's like, no. And he just seems like very distressed and stuff, and he turns and like leans up against the broken wagon, and he reaches and grasps like a flask of water, and he just spills water onto his parched lips, and he's just sitting there like recovering, and he's like, oh. So what do?
Okay.
We run.
You run at him?
No, the opposite way.
You run away from him?
We just let him go.
Oh.
What?
Right?
Why? No, I totally want to go over and talk to him, and I'm persuasive.
You said you wanted to leave.
I know, but now that he's like alive and he's like Franklin, like no bad guy's name is Franklin. Like think about it. You ever met a bad guy named Franklin?
I don't,
You know
I
what
don't
Franklin
know
is? You know what that was the name
Are
of?
you
It was the name
concerned
of
that
that
he's
little
lying?
turtle show.
And
no,
that this is a trap?
I think that it's a trap.
Okay.
Like in general, but I don't think he's lying. But I think that I saved him. So, now
So
let's get
there's
out of here.
another skill
Yeah.
called insight. And insight is determining someone's intent, like their mood, their attitude, whether or
Yeah.
not they're telling the truth. Go ahead and each one of you make an
One.
insight roll.
I have 3.
I have 6. I got a 16.
I have 9. I got 6. Wait.
Is the dot by the bottom? and
Yeah.
add your bonus in. So that's a 9
So that's
plus
a 9.
what?
3.
So
So
12.
I have 16 plus 1, so I have
17. Neither one of you get the sense that this guy's faking it. Like, he seems genuinely distraught that his friends are dead
So
and
then
that
we
he's
go
like,
and help.
that he's alive.
Right. Now
Okay.
I got this. I got 6 persuasion, so I'll go over and talk to him and be like, hey, buddy.
Okay, so you come out
You know?
and
Yeah.
you see
Little-
him turn
little
and he notices
stinker.
you. And at first he looks, he's like, no, please, no more. And then he's like, wait, you're not one of them.
Like, fuck no, I'm not. I'm a little elf boy. Hey, man, come on, look. I'm like 3 feet tall. Come on.
He's like, he's still holding the arrow that's sticking in his shoulder. He's like,
You want me to try to help you
I
with
thought
that?
you were one of those small dwarf barbarians.
Okay.
They attacked us earlier today. We tried to outrun them, but there were too many. Are you still hiding?
Yeah.
I said it's just
Okay.
me. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you
it's just
see,
I
you
don't
see
have any
Kateman like
persuasion.
talking to them. You don't have to. You could walk out.
Yeah, you
Really?
Just,
Should I
yeah,
just, like,
no,
come
I'll
out there?
introduce you. Come on, you're
It'll be
fine.
fun.
He's
It'll be
like,
fine. You'll
he's
love
like,
it, okay?
"Wow, are they near?
It's like, I don't know.
Have you seen a
I haven't.
barbarian?
How long ago was this?
Just a few hours ago. Earlier,
hours?
this morning, we were on our way to the capital.
What's your name, son?
My name is Joffrey,
Joffrey?
and these were
That's
my
unfortunate.
friends,
Joffrey.
Franklin and Morgan. We were bringing our supplies to the capital to sell at the festival.
Well, you're in luck this time, Joffrey.
Can we take
Because
him
we're
with
heading
us?
to the festival right now. Me and my fun elf friend, Alexia.
Yeah.
We'll take you with. We'll get
Yeah.
you there, buddy.
Can we take him?
Yes, but
Can we keep
I
it?
must have this arrow removed. Do either of you have the medicine skill?
I
I
have
feel like I definitely
an
do
herbalism kit.
You
I
could-
have one
Can I use
You can use
that?
your
Can
herbalism
I use
kit.
that?
Yeah. So
just-
go ahead
it
and make
automatically
a roll,
Here, what are these? They look like
and you're gonna
gummies.
add your
I have medicine.
+2 to the roll,
Okay. Wait. For medicine?
or you could just rip his arrow out and
Or-
then heal him.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
Okay, just
So
do that.
I'm gonna
Should I do
distract
that?
him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
be like, "Hey, Joffrey,
Yeah.
you like apples, Joffrey?"
So it's like
And then I'm
I'll
just like,
pull the
"Shh."
Band-Aid off on 3. 1, 2, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
So
I was gonna
he's
say
like,
that.
ah, and blood shoots out, but then you heal him.
Yeah.
All right, now you have different healing options. You could do Healing Word again, or you can do Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds is more. So instead of a D4, it's a D8 plus your bonus.
Oh.
That would like heal him.
Okay, I say we risk that.
Do that?
Yeah, because I
You
want
have
to
it too.
Oh, I do. I have it too. Well, let's both roll then.
So then.
You don't need to both roll. That's a waste of spells. I'll
so
just
who
coach
wants
you
to
on
do
that.
It, right?
Well,
So,
do we have a limited
cure-
amount of spells or
Yes,
something?
you
Oh,
have a
what?
limited amount of
Cure
slots.
Were we supposed to be keeping track? What was supposed to be?
Hmm?
Bell.
I'm keeping track.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Shut up. All right, so roll a D8.
Wait, it's this one, right?
Yeah. No, that's a 10. It's the other diamond-shaped one.
This
Yes.
one? Okay.
There you go. So 7. You're like, you call upon nature, and as you do this, like you see the wound actually close, like it heals
Yeah.
before your
Oh,
very
that's
eyes.
He's a little
so
sore,
cool.
probably.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
many thanks to you. I am so grateful. He's like, I don't know how we'll make it to the capital, though. The wagon is wrecked and my horses are dead.
Good thing we got a pig. Jump on. No, I'm kidding.
He's like, I could carry much, or at least some of the goods. I think, let me see what we have. And
What are you carrying?
He looks through the
Yeah.
cart,
Whiskey.
and he's like,
Whiskey.
I do have several bottles of wine from the wine festival.
Sweet.
I could,
Okay, that's fine.
I could give to you in gratitude for saving me.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he gives you each a bottle of Southern wine. So write that down in your stuff. Bottle
Okay.
of Southern wine.
This
Then
is good.
he loads up a bag with a bunch of, basically like they took all the food and stuff, so there's just like crap on the ground, but he like scoops up some rice from the dirt and like puts that in a bag, and then he like roots through some stuff and he gets some other,
Yeah.
like basically he just scavenges whatever they didn't take, which isn't very much. And he loads it up into a bag and like ties it around his waist. And then he grabs like a walking stick and he's like,
That's good.
I appreciate you accompanying me and letting me join you on the trek to the capital. I feel like I want to stay and bury my friends, but I'm concerned that if we stay here too long, they could come back.
Well, I don't want them to be bummed out. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to bury your friends, but on the way over, you can hit the pipe. Okay? We'll let you drink. You can share my large bottle of wine with me because I'm a lightweight. As you can imagine, I'm like 3 feet tall. So...
What is your name?
Generous. I'm Cademan, friend.
Cademan.
Yeah, you take it easy. Why you...
Cademan. He's like, why do I... He's like, the name seems so familiar. Would I know you from somewhere?
I mean, I'm kind of a big deal. You know, I mean, I'm kind of a folk hero or whatever. I'm kind of in a band called... Wait, we need to conference about what we're going to call the band. I don't know.
You know what? I know a good name
What?
that would be very fantasy D&D appropriate. And it would totally make sense given the fact that he's a forest gnome. You're a druid that's part of the Circle of the Moon. I think you should be called the Moonrays. And that's where we're going to end.
I'm just going to leave.
That's where we're going to end the Prelude.
I just want to go. I just want to go home.
Join us next time when we play D&D for real with everybody on D&D
No,
with
wait,
High School
what
Students,
happened?
Season 3.
Wait, that was so good. I was like, he's gonna say
It really
something so
would be good.
Wait, where do
can we
where do we
please?
pick up from now?
All right. Thanks for watching that video. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out a lot of the other great content that I have on the channel. It's really awesome. You should check it out. I know what I'm talking about.